Are we getting React content today? You know, it's funny. Because I didn't restream the Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Smash, they did the massive announcement on Friday night, and then they also revealed Bison's entire gameplay trailer, like, the next morning, which I wasn't expecting. So it's now been like 3 days since all that info dropped, and all of the content creators have already, like, got their reactions and stuff out. I'm so far behind. We only care about your opinion? Oh man. See, my take on here's my official take on the season 2 lineup. I think it's a good season delivered at the complete wrong time, if that makes sense. Like, if it was, here's the thing, if it was like season 4 of Street Fighter 6, like we were like 4 or 5 years deep, and we've already had like a bunch of season passes, and the roster has been like filled up, so there's lots of representation from like Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, like there's a good coverage of like existing Street Fighter characters. Then I would think this is really cool to have these SNK guest characters. But because we're still missing so many like fan favorite Street Fighter characters, especially from Street Fighter 3, it feels very weird to go for 2 out of the 4 as guest characters. That's kind of my take. Like, if you think about it, we're gonna have one Street Fighter 4 character in the roster, which is Jury. One Street Fighter 3 character in the roster, which is Elena. And also Elena's dead last, I think, in the release order, so that won't be until like a year from now. So we're gonna have, yeah, one Street Fighter 3, one Street Fighter 4, and 2 SNK characters. Maya's last? No, Elena is last. Let me show you guys. Hang on, let me get up the graphic that they used was really misleading. This also confused me when I first saw it. This was the big graphic they used, and like the way that it's structured and the listings in the text makes it look like Elena is 3rd and Mai is 4th. It's actually Mai 3rd, Elena 4th, and winter 2025 actually means like the winter of 2024 going into 2025. Like, I'm pretty, otherwise there's like a year gap between Elena and Mai, which I don't think is how it works. So it's actually, the way it's actually gonna work is Bison at the end of this month, Terry in autumn, then Mai in presumably like February of 2025, and then Elena at like probably like May 2025. They've structured this graphic very weirdly. It confused me when I first saw it as well. Also, I guess the last thing I'll say about this image, what is going on with this art? What's going on? Terry looks very strange in this to me. If this is the big like splash screen they're using to advertise the season pass, why does Terry look like a bootleg toy that your grandma gets you? That's called like it comes from China, and it's called like, for legal reasons, it's called like Terrence Bogart from Fatal Fury. I think for me, SNK has so many fucking sick characters. It always annoys me that they always pick Terry for crossovers. Every single time, whether it's putting him in Smash or putting him in like gacha games, everything, it's always Terry. And I get why they do it, because like Terry is kind of like the face of SNK as a brand. From a branding perspective, it makes sense, but from a gameplay perspective, give me Kyo. I don't know why is it never Kyo? Does anyone know the answer to that question? Like, Kyo is just as much the main character of King of Fighters as Terry. I know Terry was technically first, but I think Kyo is so much cooler than Terry. I would genuinely have been hype if it was Kyo. Or Iori. Like, I'm more positive about Mai than I am Terry. I think Mai has more potential for cool stuff. Do you have an issue with only 4 characters a year? I don't really have an issue with it. I was kind of hoping that they would upgrade to 6. Like that, maybe that was cope on my part. I was hoping that, like, now that it's a case where the thing is, I could understand why year 1 would be a 4-year roster, because obviously they were making the DLC characters at the same time as they were making like the whole game. I can understand why they would be like stretched very thin in year 1, because they were probably making like Aki and Ed before the game even came out. Rashid and stuff. But I feel like in year 2, I was hoping they would upgrade to 6, but it wasn't to be. You're mad that Elena is the first Street Fighter 3 representative? I don't think that's a big deal. The thing is, people are traumatized by Street Fighter 4 Elena. I don't hate Elena as much as most people do. Like, she was really cool in Street Fighter 3. No, when people think of Elena, no one thinks of Third Strike anymore. It's always like, everyone's been brain poisoned by healing in Street Fighter 4, but she was actually really cool in Third Strike. Now they're adding the SNK guys, what's next? See, I was thinking, my prediction was that the SNK Capcom crossover would work in both directions. That was my prediction. So I thought at Summer Games Fest they were going to announce like Terry for Street Fighter 6, but I also thought they were going to announce like maybe Ryu for Garo or Fatal Fury, whatever it's called now. You gonna try Bison? I'll do my usual thing. When Bison comes out, I'll take him to Master Rank. I think what I'm really looking forward to is seeing what Problem X does with the character. Like, the thing is, Problem's Blanca is really fucking good. Like, don't get me wrong, his Blanca is sick, but it never felt like he actually likes the character on, like, a personal level. It always felt like he was just using the character as, like, a tool, if that makes sense. I don't get the feeling he actually likes Blanca any more than just seeing him as a function, yeah. I want to see him back with his, a character that he actually, like, really likes. But like I said, my main takeaway from this is, like, not that I dislike these characters, but more that it seems like a very odd time to do a crossover when there is so little representation in this game's roster from, like, Street Fighter 3 and 4. So it's not about which characters they picked so much as it's about which characters they didn't pick.